households, both alike in dignity, and fair Verona, where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge, break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' spleen, which but their children's end not could remove, is now the 90 minutes passage of our screen, the which, if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
Gregory, on my word, will not carry coals.
No, then we should be colliers.
I mean, it would be in collar, we'll draw.
While you live, draw your neck out of the collar.
I strike quickly, being moved.
But thou art not quickly moved to strike.
The house of Montague moves me.
To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runst away.
The dog of that house shall move me to stand.
The quarrel is between our masters and us, their men.
I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I will be cruel with the maids and cut off their heads.
The heads of the maids?
Aye, the heads of the maids. Their maiden heads. Take in what sense thou wilt.
They must take it in sense that feel it.
Oh, me they shall feel while I am able to stand, and 'tis known I'm a pretty piece of flesh.
'Tis well thou art not fish, for if thou hadst, thou would have been poor John. Draw thy tool! Here comes two of the house of the Montagues.
My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I will back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run?
Hey, fear me not.
No, marry, I fear thee.
Let us take the law of our sides. Let them begin.
I will frown as they pass by and let them take it as they list.
Nay, as they dare. I'll bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it.
Bite your thumb at us, sir?
Do bite my thumb, sir.
You bite your thumb at us, sir?
It's the law of our side if I say aye.
No.
No, sir. I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I bite my thumb, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
If you do, sir, I'm for you. I serve as good a man as you.
No better.
Well, sir.
Say better. Here comes one of my master's.
Yeah, better, sir.
You lie.
Draw if you be men.
Part, you fools! Put up your swords! You do not know what you do!
What? Art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death!
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it to part these men with me!
What, drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montagues, and thee. Have at thee, coward!
Beat them down!
Oh!
Give me my long sword, ho!
A crutch, why call you for a sword?
My sword, I say, old Montague is come and flourishes his blade in spite of me.
Thou villain Capulet! Hold me not, let me go!
Thou shalt not stir a foot to seek a foe!
Rebellious subjects, enemies to the peace, profaners of this neighborhood, stand still, will they? Not here? What ho, you men, you beast! On pain of torture from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground! And hear the sentence of your moved prince. These civil brawls, bred of an airy word by thee, old Capulet, and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives will pay the forfeit of the peace. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Who set this ancient quarrel new abroach? Speak, nephew, were you by when it began?
Here were the servants of your adversary and yours, close fighting ere I did approach. I do depart them. In the instant came the fiery Tybalt with his sword prepared.
Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not at this fray.
Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drave me to walk abroad. So early walking did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was ware of me and stole into the covert of the wood.
Many a morning hath he there been seen with tears augmenting the fresh morning dew, adding to clouds more clouds with his deep sighs. Away from the light steals home my heavy son, in private in his chamber pens himself, shuts up his windows, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Oh, black and portentous must this humor prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove.
My noble uncle, do you know the cause?
I neither know it nor can learn of him.
Have you opportuned him by any means?
That both myself and many other friends, but he, his own affections, counselor is to himself, I will not say how true, but to himself so secret and so close, so far from sounding and discovery. Could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we could as willingly give cure as know.
See where he comes. So please, you step aside. I'll know his grievance or be much denied. Good morrow, cousin.
They so young.
Been new struck 9.
What? Me, sad hours seem long. What? Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having makes them short.
In love?
Out.
Of love?
Out of her favor, where I am in love.
Alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so tyrannous and rough in proof.
Alas, that love whose view is muffled still should without eyes see pathways to his will. Oh, where shall we dine? Ah, me. What a fray was here! Yet no, tell me not, for I have heard it all here is much to do with hate, and more with love. Why then, oh, brawling love, oh, loving hate of anything, of nothing first create, oh, heavy lightness, serious vanity, still waking sleep that is not what it is. The love I feel, feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh?
No, cuz I rather weep.
Good heart at what?
At thy good heart's oppression.
Why, such is love's transgression. Griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate, to have it pressed with more of thine. This love that thou hast shown doth add more grief of too much of thine own. Love is a smoke raised with the fume of sighs, being purged a sparkling fire, of fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed to see, nourished with lovers' tears. What is it else? A madness, most discreet, a choking gall and a preserving sweet. Oh, farewell, my cousin.
Soft, I will go along. And if you leave me so, you do me wrong.
Tut, I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo. He is some other where.
Tell me in sadness, who is it you love?
What shall I groan and tell thee?
Groan! Why no, but sadly tell me who.
In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I aimed so near when I supposed you loved.
Oh, right good marksman. She is fair, I love.
A right fair mark, fair coz, is soonest hit.
Well, in that hit you miss shall not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Diane's wit. She is too fair, too wise, wisely too fair to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead that live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties.
Is the way to call hers exquisite, in question more. He that is struck and blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell. Thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt.
But Montague is bound as well as I, in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honourable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
Saying o'er what I have said before, let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride.
Younger than she, our happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those so early made. The earth hath swallowed all my hopes, but she is the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part, and she agree within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I have an old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such as I love, and you among the store. One more most welcome makes my number more. Go, Sarah, trudge about through fair Verona, find those persons out whose names are written there, and to them say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Find them out whose names are written here. I must to the learned.
Tut, man, One fire burns out another's burning. One pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy and be hope by backward turning. One desperate grief cures with another's languish. Take thou some new infection to thine eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
Plantain leaf is excellent for that.
For what I pray thee?
Your broken shin.
Romeo, art thou mad?
Mad, but bound more than a madman is. Shut up in prison. Kept without my food. Whipped and tormented. Good fellow?
God be I pray, sir. Can you read?
Mine own fortune and my misery.
Perhaps you learned it without book, but pray, can you read anything you see?
Stay, fellow, I can read.
Mm.
Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, my uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline, Livia, Signor Valentino and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio, and the lively Helena. A fair assembly. Whither should they come?
Up.
Where? Whither?
To supper? To our house?
Whose house?
My master's?
Indeed, I should have asked you that before.
Now I'll tell you without asking. My master is the good rich Capulet, and if you be not of the house of Montagues, I pray come and crush a cup of wine with us. Rest you, Mary.
At this same ancient feast of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so lovest. With all the admired beauties of Verona, go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow.
No long, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of my own.
Nurse, where is my daughter? Call her forth to me.
What lamb? What ladybird? God forbid, where is this girl? What Juliet?
Oh, now, who calls?
Your mother?
Madam, I'm here. What's your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou's hear our counsel. Thou knowest my daughters of a pretty age.
Faith, I can tell her age unto an hour.
She's not 14.
I'll lay 14 of my teeth. She is not 14. Susan and she, oh, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God now. She was too good for me.
I pray thee, hold thy peace.
Yes, madam, but yet I cannot choose but laugh. Thou was the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed, and I might live to see thee married once I have my wish.
Mary, that Mary is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honor that I dream not of.
Well, think of marriage now. Thus, then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
Oh, man, young lady, such a man as all the world. Why, he is a man of wax.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Oh, nay, he is a flower, in faith, a very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of young Paris' face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. And what obscured in this fair volume lies, find written in the margent of his eyes. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover. So shall you share all that he doth possess, by having him making yourself no less.
No less, nay bigger, women grow by men.
Can you like of Paris love?
I'll look to like, if looking liking move, but no more deep will I endart mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Madam, the guests are come. Supper is served up. You called. My young lady asked for the nurse, cursed in the pantry, and everything in extremity. I must hence to wait. I beseech you, follow straight.
We will follow thee. Juliet, the county stays.
Go, girl. Seek happy nights to happy days.
Let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone.
Give me a torch. I'm not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Hey, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Aye, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound.
I am too sore and pierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink in it should you burden love. Too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous. It pricks like the thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down.
Knock and enter, and no sooner in, but every man betake him to his legs.
For me, let wantons light of heart tickle the senses rushes with their heels. I'll be a candle holder and look on. The game was ne'er so fair, I'm done.
Tut, done's the mouse. A constable's own word. If thou art done, we'll draw thee from the mire of this Sir Reverence love, wherein thou stickst up to the ears. Come on, we burn daylight up.
Nay, that's not so.
I mean, sir, in delay. We waste our lights in vain, like lamps by day.
And we mean well in going to this mass, but 'tis not wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamed a dream tonight.
So did I.
Well, what was yours?
That dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep while they do dream things true.
Oh, but then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She's the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone upon the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomies athwart men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spiders' legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film. A wagon, a small gray-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. The chariot is an empty hazelnut made by the joiner squirrel or old grub. Time out of mind, the fairy's coachmakers. And in this state, she gallops night by night through lovers' brains. And then they dream of love, or courtiers' knees that dream on curtsies straight, or lawyers' fingers that straight dream on fees, or ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream, which oft the angry Mab with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweetmeats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops o'er a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out her suit. And sometimes comes she with a little tithe pig's tail, tickling a parson's nose as a lies asleep. Then dreams he of another benefit. Sometimes she driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of brooches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of health's 5 fathom deep, and then anon drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and being thus frightened, swears a prayer or two, and sleeps again. This is that very Mab that plats the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf locks in foul sluttish hairs, which once untangled much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she.
Peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talk'st of nothing.
True. I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late.
Too early, for my mind misgives some consequence, yet hanging in the stars shall bitterly begin this fearful date with this night's revels. But he that hath steerage of my course, direct my sail. On, lusty gentlemen.
Strike, drum!
Where is that pot pan?
Hey. When good manners shall lie all in one, and two men's hands, and they unwashed too, 'tis a foul thing.
Away with the joint stools, remove the court cupboard, look to the plate. Good thou, save me a piece of marchpane, and as thou lovest me, let the porter in Susan Grindstone and Nell and Antony and Potpan.
I'm ready.
You are looked for and called for and asked for and sought for in the great chamber.
We cannot be here, and there too we cannot. Cheerly, boys, be brisk a while, and the longer liver, take all.
Welcome, gentlemen, ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns, will have a bout with you. My mistresses, which of you all will now deny to dance? Oh, she that makes dainty, she I'll swear. If I come, you know. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play. Girls.
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Which lady is that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?
I know not, sir.
Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night like a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear. Beauty too rich for youth, for earth too dear. Oh, take my heart, let it go now. Wear its sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
This by his voice should be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy. What, dares the slave come hither covered by an antic face to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now by the stock and honour of my kin, to strike him dead, I hold it not a sin.
How now, kinsman, wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain, Romeo.
Be gentle, cuz, let him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman.
It fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. What could you say? He shall go to. Am I the master here? You. Oh. You'll not endure. God mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You fat cock. I hope you'll be the man.
My uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go to go. You were a saucy voice. So.
I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall now seeming sweet convert to bitter gall.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle fine is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which manly devotion shows in this. The saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
I have not saints' lips and holy palmers too.
I, pilgrim, lips that they must use prayer.
Then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray. Grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips by yours my sin is purged.
Have my lips the sin that they have took?
Sin? From thy lips? Oh, trespass sweetly urged. Give me my sin again.
Yes, by the book.
Madam! Your mother craves a word with you.
Oh, what is her mother?
Mary Bachelor, her mother is the lady of the house.
Oh, my dear Count, my life is before set.
Away, begone! The sport is at the best!
The more I fear, the more is my unrest.
Come hither, nurse. What is yon gentleman?
I know not.
Go ask his name. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed.
His name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen, unknown, and known too late. Oh, prodigious birth of love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy.
What is this? What's this?
Oh, a rhyme I learned even now of one I danced withal.
Anon, come, let's away. The strangers all are gone.
Now old desire doth in his deathbed lie, and young affection gapes to be his heir. That fair, for which love groaned for and would die, with tender Juliet matched, is now not fair. Now Romeo is beloved, and loves again, alike bewitched by the charm of looks. But to his foe supposed he must complain, and she steal love's sweet bait from fearful hooks. Being supposed a foe, He may not have access to breathe such vows as lovers used to swear, and she, as much in love, her means much less to meet her new beloved anywhere. But passion lends them power, time, means to meet, tempering extremities with extreme sweet.
It's here. Turn back, dull earth, and find thy center out.
Romeo! My cousin Romeo!
He is wise, and on my lie has stolen him home to bed.
He ran this way and leaped this orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio.
Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo! Humors! Madman! Passion! Lover! Appear thou in the likeness of a sigh. Speak but one rhyme and I'm satisfied. Cry out, I me! Pronounce but love and dove. He heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not. The ape is dead, and I must conjure him. I conjure thee by Rosaline's bright eyes, by her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh, and the domains that there adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou appear to us.
He hath hid himself among these trees, to be consorted with the humorous night. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Romeo, good night. Out of my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go then, for 'tis in vain to seek him here that means not to be found.
Jusset scars that never felt a wound, but soft. Oh, what light from beyond the window breaks. Hasten, Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Oh, be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. Oh, it is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. Oh, she speaks, yet she says nothing. Why? What of that? Her eye discourses. Yeah, I will answer it. Oh, no, I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business to entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres should they return. What if her eyes were there? They, in her head. The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth the lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. Oh, see how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me.
Oh, she speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel. For thou art as glorious to this night being o'er my head as is a winged messenger of heaven unto the white upturned wondering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him when he bestrides the lazy pacing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Romeo. Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's a Montague? It is not hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Ugh! Romeo, doff thy name, and for that name which is no part of thee, take all myself.
Be at thy word, call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus bescreened in night so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
Love's light wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold out love. And what love can do, that dares love attempt. Therefore, thy kinsmen are no let to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight. But thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death, prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By love!
Oh.
Who first did prompt me to inquire? He let me counsel, and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot. Yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I would adventure for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke. Oh, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thee at thy word. Yet, if thou swearest, thou may prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say Jove laughs. Oh, gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkst I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my haviour light, but trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou overheardst ere I was ware my true love's passion, therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night hath so discovered. Oh.
By yonder blessed moon, I swear that tips the silver all these fruit tree
Oh,
tops.
not by the moon. The inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What should I swear by?
Do not swear at all. Or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the god of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
With my heart's dear love.
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It's too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning, which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Sweet, good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night. Good night. A sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would to have it. Would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and to give it thee again, and yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet!
I hear some more within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse! Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little, I'll come again.
Blessed night! I am afeard being in night that this is all but a dream. It's too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honourable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow, by one that I'll procure to come to thee, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
Anon! But if thou meanst not well, I do beseech thee,
Madam!
Oh, why I come, to cease thy suit, and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
Oh, 1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes towards love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love to school with heavy looks.
Romeo! Oh, for a falconer's voice to lure this tassel gentle back again. Romeo!
Oh, it is my soul that calls upon my name. How silver sweet lovers' tongues by night sound, like softest music to attending ears.
Romeo!
My dear!
At what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
At the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. Oh, I forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it,
I shall forget to have thee stand there, remembering how I love thy company.
and I'll still stay, to have thee still forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morning. I would have thee gone, and yet no further than a wanton's bird who lets it hop a little from his hand, from her hand, like a poor prisoner in his twisted gyves, and with a silk thread plucks it back again, so loving jealous of his liberty.
I would I were thy bird.
Sweet, so would I. Yet I should kill thee with much cherishing. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow, that I shall say good night till it do be morrow.
Sleep, dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Oof, would I were sleep in peace, so sweet to rest. Hence will I to my ghostly father sell, his help to crave, and my dear hap to tell.
The grey-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light. Now, ere the sun advance his burning eye, the day to cheer and night's dank dew to dry, I must fill up this osier cage of ours with baleful weeds and precious juice of flowers. The earth that nature's mother is her tomb, what is her burying grave that is her womb? And from her womb, children of diverse kind, we sucking on her natural bosom find. Oh, mickle is the powerful grace that lies in herbs and plants and stones and their true qualities. For naught so vile that on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give. No aught so good, but strained from that fair use, revolts from birth, stumbling on abuse. Virtue itself turns vice, being misapplied, and vice, sometimes by action dignified. Within the infant rind of this small flower, poison hath residence and medicine power. For this, being smelt with what part cheers each part, being tasted slays all senses with the heart. Two such opposed kings encamp them still, in man as well as herbs, grace and rude will, and where the worser is predominant, full soon the canker doth eat up that plant.
Good morrow, father.
Benedicte, young son, it argues a distempered head, so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Or if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
That last is true, the sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon sin, what's thou with Rosaline?
Rosaline, my ghostly father, no. I've forgot that name and that name's woe.
That's good, my son, but where hast thou been then?
I'll tell thee ere thou ask me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, whereon a sudden one hath wounded me that's by me wounded. Both our remedies within thy help and holy physic lies.
Be plain, good son, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confession finds but riddling shrift.
And plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined, save what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed, we made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy Saint Francis, what a change is here! Is Rosaline, whom thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? What, a deal of brine hath washed thy sallow cheeks for Rosaline? And art thou changed? Pronounce this sentence then. Women may fall when there's no strength in men.
Thou chidst me off for loving Rosaline.
For doting, not loving, pupil mine.
I pray thee chide not. She whom I love now doth grace for grace and love for love allow. The other did not so.
Oh, she knew well. Thy love did read by rote and could not spell. Oh, but come, young waverer, come, go with me. In one respect, I'll thy assistant be. For this alliance may so happy prove to turn your household's rancour to pure love.
Oh, let us hence. I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, stumble that run fast.
Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight?
Not to his father's. I spoke with his man.
That same pale, hard-hearted wench, that Rosaline, torments him so that he will sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman of old Capulet, has sent a letter to his father's house.
A challenge on my life. Alas, poor Romeo, he's already dead. Stabbed with a white wench's black eye, shot through the ear with a love song, the very pin of his heart cleft with a blind bow-boy's butt shaft. And is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why? What is Tybalt?
More than Prince of Cats, I can tell you. Oh, he is the courageous captain of compliments, the very butcher of a silk button, a duelist, a duelist.
Oh, here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo.
Without his roe, like a dried herring. Flesh, flesh, how art thou fishified? Signor Romeo, bonjour. There's a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Tomorrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio, my business was great. And in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
Oh, that's as much as to say such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hands.
Courtesy.
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
Almost courteous exposition.
Nay, I'm the very pink of courtesy.
Oh, big flower.
Right.
Well, then my pump is well flowered.
Well said. Follow me this just now till thou hast worn out thy pump, that when the single soul of it is worn, the jest may remain after the wearing soul singular.
Oh, single soul jest, solely singular for the singleness.
Come between us, good Benvolio. My wits faint.
Switching spurs, or I'll cry a match.
Oh, why, is not this better now than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable. Now art thou Romeo. Now art thou what thou art by art, as well as by nature.
Well, here's goodly gear.
Sail, a sail.
Do a shirt and a smock.
Peter?
Anon?
My fan, Peter.
Good Peter, to hide her face, for the fans the fairer face.
God ye good morrow, gentlemen.
God ye good den, fair gentlewoman.
Is it not good end?
'Tis no less, I tell you, for the bawdy hand of noon is now upon the prick. Bawdy hand of the clock is now upon the prick of noon.
Ugh, out upon you. What man are you?
One gentlewoman that God hath made for himself to mar.
Ugh, by my troth, it is well said. For himself to mar. Ooh, quoth I. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo?
Oh, I could tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you found him than he was when you saw him. I'm the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse.
You say well.
Yes, the worst well, very well took, faith, wisely, wisely.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
Romeo, will you come to your father's? We'll to dinner thither.
Yeah, I will follow you.
Farewell. Ancient lady, farewell. Lady, lady, lady.
Marry, farewell. I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
And gentleman nurse that loves to hear himself talk.
Scurvy knave. Pray you, sir, a word. And as I told you, my young lady bade me inquire you out. What she bade me say, I will keep to myself. But first, let me tell ye, if you should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say. And therefore, if you should deal double with her, truly it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very, very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee.
Oh, good heart and faith, I will tell her as much. Lord, Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her, nurse? Thou dost not mark me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon, and there she shall at Friar Lawrence cell be shrived and married. Here's for thy pains.
No, sir, truly. Not a penny.
Go too, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir, well, she shall be there.
And stay, good nurse, behind the abbey wall. Within this hour my man shall be with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to the high top gallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell. Be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell. Commend me to thy mistress.
Now God in heaven bless thee. Hark you, sir.
Commend me to thy lady.
Aye, 1,000 times. Peter!
Anon!
Peter! Take my fan, and go before and apace.
The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. But I should not meet him. Oh, that's not so. Oh, she is lame. Love's heralds should be thoughts, which 10 times faster glide than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over lowering hills. Now is the sun on the highmost hill of this day's journey, and from 9 till 12 is 3 long hours, and yet she is not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many fain as they were dead, unwieldy, heavy, slow, pale as lead. Oh, God, she comes. Oh, honey nurse, what news? Hast thou met with him? Send thy man away.
Peter, stay at the gate.
Now, good, sweet nurse. Oh, Lord, why lookst thou sad? Though those news be sad, yet tell them merrily. If good, thou shamest the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
I am aweary. Give me leave a while. Oh, fie, how my bones ache. Oh, what a jaunt have I had.
I would thou hadst my bones, and I thy news. Nay, come, I pray thee, speak, good nurse, speak.
Jesu, what haste! Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath, when thou hast breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? The excuse that doth make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Answer to that. Say either, and I'll state the circumstance. Let me be satisfied. Is good or bad?
Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man. Romeo? No, not he. Though his face be better than any man's, yet his leg excels all men's. And for a hand, a foot, and a body, though they be not to be talked on, yet they are past compare. He is not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warrant him as gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench, serve God. What, have you dined at home?
No, but all this I knew before. What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Oh, Lord, how my head aches. Oof, what a headache have I. Oh, it beats as would fall in 20 pieces. Oh, my back and the other side. My back. Oh, my back. Beshrew your heart for sending me about to catch my death jaunting up and down.
In faith, I am sorry that thou art not well. Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet nurse, tell me what says my love.
Your love says, like an honest gentleman, and like a courteous, and a kind, and a handsome, and I warrant a virtuous. Where's your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says, like an honest gentleman, where is your mother?
Oh, God's lady dear, are you so hot? Marry, come up, I trow. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward do your messages yourself.
Oh, here's such a coil. Come, what says Romeo?
Have you got leave to go to shift today?
I have.
Then hie you hence to Friar Lawrence' cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Oh, now comes the wanton blood up in your cheeks. They'll be scarlet straight at any news. Hie you to church. I must another way to fetch a ladder, by the which your love must climb a bird's nest soon when it is dark. I am the drudge and toil in your delight, but you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go, 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 go. Out to dinner. Hie you to the cell.
Hie to high fortune. Oh, honest nurse, farewell.
So smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Then amen, but come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love devouring death do what he dare. It is enough, but I may call her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die like fire and powder, which as they kiss consume. Therefore, love moderately. Long love doth so. Too swift arrives as tardy as too slow. Here comes the lady.
Good even to my ghostly confessor.
Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both.
As much to him, else is his thanks too much.
Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, then that thy skill be more to blazon it. Then sweeten with thy breath this neighbor air, and let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either by this dear encounter.
Conceit, more rich in matter than in words, brags of his substance, not of ornament. They are but beggars that can count their worth. But my true love is grown to such excess, I cannot sum up some of half my wealth.
Come with me, and we will make short work. For by the leaves you shall not stay alone till Holy Church incorporate two in one.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl.
Thou art like one of those fellows that when he enters the confine of a tavern, claps me his sword upon the table and says, God send me no need of thee. And by the operation of the second cup, draws it on the drawer when indeed there's no need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Come, thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy, and as soon moved to be moody, and as soon moody to be moved.
And what two?
Hey, and there were two such, we should have none shortly, for one would kill the other. Thou, why thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast. Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts, having no other reason but that thou hast hazel eyes. What eye but such an eye would spy out such a quarrel, and yet thou wilt tutor me from quarreling?
By my lead, here come the Capulets.
I heel I care not.
Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good den, a word with one of you?
And but one word with one of us? Couple it with something. Make it a word and a blow.
Oh, you shall find me apt enough to that, sir. And you give me occasion.
Could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortst with Romeo.
Consort? What, dost thou make us minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us, look to hear nothing but discords. Here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make you dance. Zoot, consort.
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw into some private place and reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure, I.
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
But I'll be hanged, sir, if you wear your livery. Marry, go before the field, he'll be your follower. Your worship in that sense may call him man.
Romeo, the hate I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Sybil, The reason that I have to love thee doth must excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none. Therefore farewell, I see thou knowest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me, therefore turn and draw.
I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love. And so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as my own, be satisfied.
Oh, calm, dishonorable, vile submission. Our stoccata carries it away. Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives that I mean to make bold withal. Will you pluck your sword out of his pitch over his ears? Make haste, lest mine be about your ears ere it be out.
I'm for you.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Sir, you're passado.
Benvolio, beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage. Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince expressly hath forbidden bandying in Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt, good Mercutio.
I'm hurt. The plague of both your houses. I'm sped. Is he gone and hath nothing?
What? Art thou hurt?
Aye, a scratch. A scratch. Mary, 'tis enough.
Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much.
No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough. 'Twill serve. Ask me tomorrow and you'll find me a grave man. I'm peppered, I warrant, for this world. A plague of both your houses. Zoons. A dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat, to scratch a man to death. A braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
What all for the best?
Help me into some house, Benvolio, or I shall faint. A plague of both your houses. They've made worms meat of me. I have it, and soundly too. Your houses!
Gentlemen, the prince is near our lie. My very friend hath got his mortal hurt in my behalf, my reputation stained with Tybalt slander. Tybalt, that an hour hath been my kinsman.
Oh, Romeo. Romeo, brave Mercutio's dead.
This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woe, others must end.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
I've in triumph and Mercutio slain. Away to heaven respective lenity and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again. The late thou gavest me for Mercutio's soul is got a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou or I, or both must go with him.
Thou wretched boy, that didst consort with him here, shalt with him hence.
This shall determine that!
Romeo, away, be gone. The citizens are up and Tybalt slain. Stand not amazed. The prince will doom thee death if thou art taken. Hence, be gone, away.
I am fortune's fool.
Why dost thou stay?
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
O noble prince, I can discover all the unlucky manage of this fateful brawl. There lies the man slain by young Romeo that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio.
Tybalt, my cousin. Oh, my brother's child. Oh, prince. Oh, cousin, husband. Oh, the blood is spilt. Oh, my dear kinsman, prince, as thou art true, for blood of ours, shed blood of Montague. Oh, cousin, cousin.
Volio, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt, here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. An envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio, and then Tybalt fled, but by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and toots they go like lightning, for ere I could draw to part them was stout Tybalt slain, And as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly? This is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him. He slew Mercutio. Who now the price of this dear blood doth owe?
Not Romeo, prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes, but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt.
And for that offense, immediately do we exile him hence. I have an interest in your hate's proceeding. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. But I'll immerse you with so strong a fine that you shall all repent the loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses. Nor tears, nor prayers shall purchase out abuses. Therefore, use none. Let Romeo hence in haste, else when he's found, that hour is his last. Bear hence his body, and attend our will. Mercy but murderers, pardoning those that kill.
Up hasty, fiery-footed steeds towards Phoebus's lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west and bring in cloudy night immediately. Spread thy closed curtain, love-performing night, that runaways' eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms, untalked of and unseen. Lovers can do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match, played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Come, knight, come. Romeo, come, thou day in night, for thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow on a raven's back. Come, gentle knight. Come, thou loving, black-browed knight, give me my Romeo, and, when he shall die, take him and cut him out into little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I bought the mansion of love, but not possessed it. And though I'm sold, not yet enjoyed, so tedious is this day, as is the night before some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse. Now, nurse, what news? What hast thou there? Is that the cords that Romeo bid thee fetch?
Aye, the cords.
Oh me, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hand?
Well a day. He is dead, he is dead, he is dead. We are undone, lady, we are undone.
Can heaven be so envious?
Romeo can, though heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, Romeo, who would have ever thought it? Romeo!
What devil art thou that torments me thus? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself? If he be slain, say I, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine of my weal or woe.
I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark. Here, on his manly breast, a piteous course, a bloody, piteous course, pale, pale as ashes, all bedaubed in blood, all in gore blood. I swooned at the sight.
Oh, break my heart. Poor bankrupt, break at once.
Tybalt, the best friend I had, that I should ever live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered, and is Tybalt dead? My dear loved cousin and my dearer lord. Then, dreadful trumpet, sound the general doom, for who is living if those two are gone?
Tybalt is gone. And Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Oh God. Did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did. It did, alas the day, it did.
Serpent heart hid with a flowering face, did ever dragon keep in so fair a cave? Beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical.
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men. All perjured, all forsworn, all not all dissemblers. Where's my man? Give me some aquavitae. These griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Oh, what a beast was I to chide at him.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Will I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, did thou kill my cousin? That villain would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you, mistaking, offer up to joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort. Wherefore weep I then? Some word there was, worser than Tybalt's death that murdered me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory like damned, guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. That banished, that one word, banished, hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. To speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo banished. There is no end, no limit, no measure bound in that word's death, no words that can that woe sound. Where is my father and my mother, nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Will you go to them? I will bring you thither.
Wash they his wounds with tears, mine shall be spent, when theirs are dry for Romeo's banishment. Take up those cords, poor ropes, you are beguiled, both you and I, for Romeo is exiled. He made you for a highway to my bed, but I, a maid, die maiden widowed. Come, cords, come, nurse, I'll to my wedding bed, and death, not Romeo, take my maidenhead.
Hie you to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is.
Oh, find him! Oh, give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell.
Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man.
Father, what news? What is the prince's doom?
A gentler judgment vanished from his lips. Not body's death, but body's banishment.
Banishment. Be merciful, say death, for exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death. Do not say banishment.
Hence from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence, banished is banished from the world. And the world's exile is death. Then banished is death mistermed, calling death banishment. Thou cuts my head off with a golden axe and smilest upon the stroke that murders me.
O deadly sin, rude unthankfulness. Thy fault our law calls death, but the kind prince, taking thy part, hath rushed aside the law, and turned that black word death to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not.
'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here, where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her, but may not. More validity, more honorable state, more courtship lives in carrion flies than Romeo. They may seize on the white wonder of dear Juliet's hand and steal immortal blessings from her lips, but Romeo may not. He is banished. Flies may do this, but I from this must fly. They are free men, but I am banished. Ah, friar, the damn use that word in hell. Howlings attend it. How has the heart, being divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend, professed to mangle me with that word banished?
Thou fond madman, hear me but speak a word.
Well, I will speak again of banishment.
I'll give thee armor to keep off that word. Adversity, sweet milk, philosophy, comfort thee, though thou art banished.
Banished! Hang on philosophy, unless philosophy can make Juliet Displant a town, reverse a prince's doom. It helps not, it prevails not, talk no more.
Oh, then I see that madman have no ears.
How should they when that wise men have no eyes?
Let me dispute with thee of thy estate.
Thou canst not speak of what thou dost not feel. Art thou as young as I, Juliet thy love, an hour but married, Tybalt murdered, doting like me, and like me banished? Then mightst thou speak, then mightst thou tear thy hair and fall upon the ground as I do now, taking the measure of an unmade grave.
Rise, one knocks, good Romeo, hide thyself. Thou wilt be taken, stay a while, stand up. Run to my study, by and by, God's will. What simpleness is this? I come. Oh, who knocks so hard? Whence come you? What's your will?
Let me come in, and you shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet.
Welcome then.
Oh, Holy Friar, oh, tell me, Holy Friar, where is my lady's lord? Where is Romeo?
There, on the ground, with his own tears made drunk.
He is even in my mistress's case, just in her case, a woeful sympathy, piteous predicament. Even so lies she, blubbering and weeping and blubbering. Stand up! Stand up! Stand, and you be a man, for Juliet's sake. For her sake, rise and stand. Why should you fall so deep into an O? Sir, well, death's the end of all.
Speaks thou of Juliet? How is it with her? Doth not she think me an old murderer?
She says nothing, sir, but weeps, and now falls on her bed, and then starts up, and Tybalt calls, and then on Romeo cries, and then falls down again.
As if that name shot from the deadly level of a gun did murder her. As that name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman. Tell me, friar, in what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me that I may sack the hateful mansion.
Oh, thy desperate hand. Thou a man. Thy form cries out thy art. Thy tears are womanish. Thy wild acts denote the unreasonable fury of a beast. Thou hast amazed me. By my holy order, I thought thy disposition better tempered. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself? And stay thy lady too, that lives in thee, by doing damned hate upon thyself? Why railest thou on thy birth, the heaven and earth? Since birth and heaven and earth, all three do meet in thee at once, which thou at once wouldst lose. Thy wit, that ornament to shape and love, misshapen in the conduct of them both. Like powder in a silkless soldier's flask, is set afire by thine own grace, and thou dismembered with thine own defence. What? Rouse thee, man! Thy Juliet is alive, whose dear sake thou wast but lately dead. There art thou happy. Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There art thou happy too. The Lord that threatens death becomes thy friend and turns it to exile. There art thou happy. A pack of blessings lights upon thy back. Happiness courts thee in her best array. But like a misbehaved and sullen wench, thou poutest upon thy fortune and thy love. Take heed, for such thy miserable. Go, get thee to thy love, as was decreed. Ascend her chamber hence, and comfort her. But look thou stayest not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live. We can find a time to blaze your marriage. Reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back with 20,100,000 times more joy than thou wentest forth in lamentation. Go before, nurse, commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming.
Oh, Lord, I could have stayed here all the night to hear good counsel. Oh, what learning is! My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come.
Do so, and bid my sweet prepared child.
Here, sir. A ring she bid me give you, sir. Hie you, make haste, for it grows very late.
Well, my comfort is revived by this.
Go hence, good night, and here stands all your state. Either be gone before the watch be set, or by the break of day disguised from hence. Sojourn in Mantua, I'll find out your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances here. Give me thy hand. 'Tis late. Farewell. Good night.
Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily we had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman dear Tybalt dearly, and so did I. Well, we were born to die. 'Tis verily late. She'll not come down tonight, I promise you, but for your company I would have been to bed an hour ago.
These times of woe afford no time to woo. Madam, good night. Commend me to your daughter.
I will, and know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she is mewed up to her heaviness.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she will be ruled in all respects by me on Wednesday next, but soft, what day is this?
Monday, my lord.
Monday! Well, Wednesday is too soon. Thursday, let it be. Thursday. Tell her she'll be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
I'll get you gone. Thursday be it then. Go you to Juliet, or you go to bed. Prepare her wife against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord.
Wilt thou be gone? It's not yet near day. It was the nightingale and not the lark that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yon pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale.
Was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale. Look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and Jock and Day stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live or stay and die.
Yon light is not daylight, I know it. It is some meteor that the sun exhales, to be to thee this night a torch-bearer, and light thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet. Thou needst not to be gone.
Let me be taken. Let me be put to death. I am content, so thou will have it so. I have more care to stay than will to go. Come, death, welcome. Juliet wills it so. How is my soul? Let's talk. It is not yet day.
It is. It is. Hence, begone, away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This doth not so, for she divideth us. Well, now be gone. More light and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and dark our woes.
Madam!
Nurse.
Your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary. Look about.
Then window, let day in and let life out.
Farewell. One kiss, and I'll descend.
Art thou gone so? Love, lord, I, husband, friend, I must hear from thee every hour in the day, every day in the hour, for in a minute there are many days. By this count I shall be much in years ere I again behold my Romeo.
Oh, farewell. I will omit no opportunity that may convey my greetings, love, to thee.
Thinkest thou we ever shall meet again?
I doubt it not. And all these woes shall serve for sweet discourses in our time to come.
God, I have an ill-divining soul. Methinks I see thee now. Now thou art below as one dead, in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails, or thou look'st pale.
Trust me, love, in my eye, so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu. Adieu.
Be fickle, fortune. For then I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back.
Oh, daughter, are you up?
Well, who is the cause?
Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I am not well.
Evermore weeping for your cousin's death. Wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live, therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss.
So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you weep for.
Feeling so the loss, I cannot choose but ever weep the friend.
Well, girl, thou weeps not so much for his death as the villain that lives, which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
That same villain Romeo.
Villain, and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him. I do with all my heart. and yet no man like he doth grieve my heart.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
I, madam, from the reach of these my hands, would none but I might venge my cousin's death.
We will have vengeance for it, fear thou not. Then weep no more. I'll send one to Mantua, where that same banished runagate doth live, shall give him such an unaccustomed dram that he shall soon keep Tybalt company. And then I hope thou wilt be satisfied.
Madam, if you could find out but a man to bear a poison, I would temper it, that Romeo should upon receipt thereof soon sleep in quiet.
Find thou the means, and I'll find such a man. But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
Joy comes well in such a needing time. What are they? I beseech your ladyship.
Well, well, thou hast a careful father, child, one who, to put thee from thy heaviness, hath sorted out a sudden day of joy, that thou expectst not, nor I looked for.
Madam, in happy time, what day is that?
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the County Paris, at St. Peter's Church, shall happily make thee there a joyful bride.
Now, by St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, he shall not make me there a happy bride. I wonder at this haste, that I must wed ere he that should be my husband comes to woo. I pray you, tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet, and when I do, I swear, it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate rather than Paris. These are news indeed.
Here comes your father, tell him so yourself, and see how he will take it at your hands.
Sun sets the air drizzle dew, but for the sunset of my brother's son rains down right. How now? A conduit girl, but still in tears, evermore showering. How now, wife? Have you delivered her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. How would the fool were married to her grave?
So take me with you. Take me with you, wife. How will she not? Does she not give us thanks? Is she not proud?
What proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud can I never be of what I hate, but thankful even for that hate that is meant love.
Thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints against Thursday next to go with parents to St. Peter's Church, or I will drag thee on a hurdle thither out. You green sickness carry it out, you baggage, you tallow face.
Why, what are you mad?
Good father, I beseech you, on my knees, hear me with patience, but to speak a word.
Hang thee, young baggage, disobedient wretch. I tell thee what, get thee to church a Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me, my fingers itch.
God in heaven bless her, you are to blame, my lord, to rate her so.
And why, my lady wisdom, hold your tongue.
I speak no treason.
Oh, God, ye good den.
May not one speak?
Peace, you mumbling fool, utter your gravity, or a gossip's fool, for here we need it not.
You are too hot.
God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, hour, time, work, play, alone in company, still my care hath been to have her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts, proportioned as one's thought would wish a man, and then to have a wretched, puling fool, a whining mammoth in her fortune's tender, to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. But as you will not wed, I'll pardon you, and you be mine. I'll give you to my friend, and you be not. Hang, beg, starve, die in the streets.
Is there no pity sitting in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away. Delay this marriage for a month, a week, or if you do not, make the bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Oh God. Nurse, how should this be prevented? Comfort me, counsel me. Alack, that heaven should practice these stratagems on so soft a subject as myself. What sayest thou? Hast thou no word of joy, some comfort, nurse?
Faith, here it is. Romeo is banished. Then since the case so stands as now it doth, I think it best you married with the county. He is a lovely gentleman. Romeo is a dish clout to him. An eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye as Paris hath. Beshrew my very heart, I think you are happy in this second match, for it excels your first, or if it did not, your first is dead. Or 'twere as good he were as living here, and you no use of him.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
And from my soul too, or else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hast comforted me marvellous much. Go in, and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father, to Lawrence's cell to make confession, and to be absolved.
Marry, I will. And this is wisely done.
Ancient damnation! O most wicked fiend, is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue which she hath praised him with above compare so many thousand times? Go, counsellor, thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. Now to the friar, to know his remedy. If all else fail, myself have power to die.
On Thursday, sir. The time is very short.
My father Capulet will have it so, and I am nothing too slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind?
Oh, immoderately she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talked of love. Happily met my lady, and my wife.
That may be, sir, when I may be a wife.
That may be, must be, love, on Thursday next.
What must shall be.
That's a certain text.
Come you to make confession to this father?
To answer that, I should confess to you. Or are you at leisure, Holy Father, now? Or shall I come to you at evening mass?
My leisure serves me, pensive daughter, now. My lord, we must entreat the time alone.
God shield I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early will I rouse ye. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
I'll shut the door, and when thou hast done so, come weep with me, past hope, past cure, past help.
Oh, Juliet, I already know thy grief. I hear thou must be married to this county.
Tell me not, friar, that thou hearest of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. Give me some present counsel, or behold, twixt my extremes and me, this bloody knife shall play the umpire. I long to die. If what thou speakst, speak not of remedy.
Hold, daughter. I do spy a kind of hope which craves as desperate an execution as that is desperate which we would prevent. If rather than to marry County Paris, thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then is it likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death to hide away the shame that copest with death himself to escape from it? And if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy.
Bid me leap rather than marry Paris from off the battlements of yonder tower, and I will do it without fear of doubt, to live an unstrained wife to my sweet love.
Well then, go home, be merry, give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night, look that thou lie alone. Let not thy nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. Take thou this vial. Being then in bed, and this distilled liquor drink thou off. Each part, deprived of supple government, shall stiff and stark and cold appear like death. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunken death, thou shalt continue 42 hours, and then awake as from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Then, as the manner of our country is, thou shalt be borne to that same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against that thou shalt wake, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift. And hither shall he come, and he and I will watch thy waking. And that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua, and this shall free thee from this present shame.
Tell me not of fear.
Hold, get you gone. Be strong and prosperous. In this resolve, I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua with my letters to thy lord.
Will give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father.
What are you busy? Oh, need you my help?
No, madam, we have culled such necessities as are behoveful for our state tomorrow. So please you, let me now be left alone, and let the nurse this night sit up with you. For I am sure you have your hands full all in this so sudden business.
Good night. Get thee to bed and rest, for thou hast need.
Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. I have a faint cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of life. Come, vial. What if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then tomorrow morning? No, the Lord, this shall forbid it. Lie thou there. What if it be a poison, which the friar subtly hath ministered to have me dead, lest this marriage he should be dishonoured, because he married me before to Romeo? I fear it is. And yet, no, methinks it should not, for he hath still been tried a holy man. How, if when I am laid into the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? Oh, there's a fearful point. Shall I not then be stifled in the vault, to whose foul mouth no healthsome air breathes in, and there die, strangled, ere my Romeo comes? Or if I live, is it not very like the horrible conceit of death and night, together with the terror of the place, as in a vault, an ancient receptacle where for these many 100 years the bones of my buried ancestors are packed, where bloody Tybalt, yet but green in earth, lies festering in his shroud? Oh, whereas they say at some nights, some hours in the night, spirits resort. Oh, if I wake, shall not I be distraught, environed with all these hideous fears, and madly play with my forefathers' joints, and pluck the mangled Tybalt from his shroud, and in this rage with some great kinsman's bone, as with a club, dash out my desperate brains? Oh, look. Methinks I see my cousin's ghost seeking out Romeo that did spit his body upon a rapier's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay. Romeo, I come. This do I drink to thee.
Mistress! What mistress? Juliet! Fast I warrant her she. Why, lamb? Why, lady? Fie, you slug a bed. Oh, well a day that ever was I born. Some aquavitae, ho! My lord? My lady?
What noise is here?
Oh, lamentable day.
What is the matter?
Look! Oh, look, oh, heavy day!
Oh, me. Oh, me, my child, my only life. Revive. Look up, or I will die with thee. Help. Help, call help.
Help! Bring Juliet forth. Her lord is come.
She is dead. She is dead. Oh, like the day.
Hello?
She's dead. She's dead. She's dead.
She's cold. Her blood is settled and her joints are stiff. Life and these lips have long been separated. Death lies on her like an untimely frost upon the sweetest flower of all the field.
A lamentable day.
Woeful time.
Death that hath ta'en her hence will make me wail, ties up my tongue, and will not let me speak.
Is the bride ready to go to church?
Ready to go, but never to return. Oh, son, the night before thy wedding day hath death lain with thy wife. There she lies, flower as she was, deflowered by him. Death is my son-in-law. Death is my heir.
Have I thought long to see this morning's faith? And doth it give me such a sight as this?
Cursed, unhappy, wretched, hateful day, most miserable hour that e'er time saw in lasting labor of his pilgrimage. But one poor and loving child, but one thing to rejoice and solace in, and cruel death hath catched it from my sight.
Woe, a woeful, woeful, woeful day, most lamentable day, most woeful day that ever I did yet behold. Oh day, oh day, oh day, oh hateful day! Never was seen so black a day as this! Oh awful day! Oh awful day!
Beguiled, divorced, wronged, spited, slain. Most detestable death, by thee beguiled, by cruel thee quite overthrown. Oh love, oh life, not life, but love in death.
Eyes distressed, hated, martyred, killed. Uncomfortable time, why camest thou now to murder our solemnity? Oh, child, my soul and not my child. Dead art thou. Alack, my child is dead, and with my child my joys are buried.
Peace, oh, for shame. Confusion's cure lives not in these confusions. Heaven and yourself had part in this fair maid. Now heaven hath all, and all the better is it for the maid. Your part in her you could not keep from death, but heaven keeps his part in eternal life. The most you sought was her promotion, for 'twas your heaven she should be advanced. And weep ye now, seeing she is advanced above the clouds, as high as heaven itself. Dry up your tears, for thou fond nature bids us in lament, yet nature's tears are reason's merriment.
Things that we ordained festival turned from their office to black funeral, our instruments to melancholy bells, our wedding cheer to a sad burial feast. Solemn hymns to sullen dirges change, our bridal flowers serve for a buried corpse. And all things change them to the contrary.
Sir, go you in, and madam, go with him. And go, Sir Paris, every one prepare to follow this fair course unto her grave.
Musicians! Oh, musicians! Heart's Ease. Heart's Ease. Oh, you'll have me live. Play Heart's Ease.
Why Heart's Ease?
Musicians. Because my heart itself plays, my heart is full of woe. Oh, play me some merry dump to comfort me.
Not a dump, Wheat. There's no time to play now.
You will not then?
No.
I will then give it to you soundly.
What will you give us?
No money, on my faith, but the gleek. I will give you the minstrel.
And I will give you the serving creature.
If I may try the flattering truth of sleep. Oh, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand, and all this day an unaccustomed spirit lifts me above the ground with cheerful thoughts. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think and breathe such life with kisses on my lips that I was revived and was an emperor. News from Verona, how now, Balthazar? Dost thou not bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How fares my Juliet? That I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well.
Then she is well, and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives. Oh, pardon me for bringing these ill news, since you did leave it for my office, sir.
But even so, then I defy you, stars. Thou knowest my lodging. Get me ink and paper and hire post horses. I will hence tonight.
I do beseech you, sir, have patience. Your looks are pale and wild, and do import some misadventure.
Hush, thou art deceived. Leave me and do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters for me from the friar?
No, my good lord.
No matter, get thee gone. And hire those horses, I'll be with thee straight. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. I do remember an apothecary, and hereabouts he dwells, which late I noted in tattered weeds, with overwhelming brows, culling of simples, meager were his looks, nothing, this penury. To myself I said, and if a man did need a poison now, whose sale is present death in Mantua, here lives a caitiff which would sell it him. The same thought did but forerun my need, and the same needy man must sell it me. What ho, apothecary?
Who calls so loud?
Come hither, man. I see that thou art poor. Hold, here is 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison.
Such mortal drugs I have, but Mantua's law is death to any he that utters them.
Art thou so barren, full of wretchedness, and fierce to die? Famine is in thy cheeks. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich, and then be not poor, but break it and take this.
My poverty, but not my will
I
consents.
pay thy poverty and not thy will.
Put this in any liquid thing you will and drink it off. And if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight.
Here's gold. Worse poison to men's souls, doing more murders in this loathsome world than these poor compounds that mayst not sell. Farewell. Buy food. Get thyself in flesh.
Holy Franciscan friar, brother, ho.
This same should be the voice of Friar John. Welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? Or if his mind be rid, give me his letter.
Going to find a barefoot brother out, one of our order to associate me here in this city, visiting the sick, and finding him, the searchers of the town, suspecting that we both were in a house where the infectious pestilence did reign, sealed up the doors and would not let us forth, so that my speed to Mantua there was stayed.
Who bore my letter then to Romeo?
I could not send it. Here it is again, nor get a messenger to bring it thee. So fearful were they of infection.
Happy fortune! By my brotherhood, the letter was not nice, but full of charge, of clear import, and the neglecting of it may do much danger. Friar John, go hence. Get me an iron crow and bring it straight unto my cell.
Brother, I'll go and bring it thee.
Now must I to the monument alone. Within 3 hours will fair Juliet wake. She will beshrew me much that Romeo hath had no notice of these accidents. But I will write again to Mantua and keep her at my cell till Romeo come. Poor living corpse, closed in a dead man's tomb.
Boy? Boy? Give me thy torch, boy, hence, and stand aloof. Sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Oh. Whoa, thy canopy is dust and stones, which with sweet water nightly I will dew, or, wanting that, with tears, distilled by moans, the obsequies that I for thee will keep, nightly shall be to strew thy grave and weep.
Give me that mattock and the wrenching iron. Hold here, take this letter early in the morn. See thou deliver it to my lord and father. So shalt thou show me friendship. Take thou that. Live and be prosperous. And farewell, good fellow.
For all this same Alhad may hear about, his looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
Oh, thou detestable maw, thou womb of death, gorge with the dearest morsel of the earth. Thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open, and in despite I'll cram thee with more food.
Stop! Thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague! Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Contemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey, and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man by urging me to fury. Be gone. By heaven, I love thee better than myself, for I come hither armed against myself. Stay not, be gone, live, and hereafter say a madman's mercy bade thee run away.
I do defy thy conjurations and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Will not provoke me. Then have at thee, boy!
Oh, Lord, they fight! I'll go call the watch.
Oh, 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 I am slain. Oh, if thou be merciful, oh, upon the tomb, lay me with Juliet.
I will. Oh, let me peruse this face, Mercutio's kinsman, noble county Paris. Oh, give me thy hand. One writ with me in sour misfortune's book. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. Death, lie thou there, by a dead man interred. How oft, when men are at the point of death, have they been merry? Oh, which their keepers call a lightning before death. Oh, how may I call this a lightning? Oh, 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 love. Oh, my wife. Death that has sucked the honey of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean abhorred monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here will I remain. Worms that are thy chambermaids, oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace, and lips, oh, the door's breath. Seal with a righteous kiss, a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, come, bitter conduct, come, unsavory guide. Here is my love. Oh, to apothecary thy drugs. Thy drugs are quick. This kiss. I die.
St. Francis, be my speed.
Oh, comfortable friar. Where's my lord? To remember well where I should be, and there I am. Where's my Romeo?
I hear some noise, lady. Come from that nest of death, contagion, and unnatural sleep. Thy husband in thy bosom there lies dead. And Paris too. Come, for the watch is coming. Come, go, good Juliet. I dare not longer stay.
Go get thee hence. I will not away. What's here? A cup closed in my true love's hand. Poison, I see, hath been his timeless end, O churl. Drunk all, and left no friendly drop to help me after. I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them to make die with a restorative. Thy lips are warm.
Lead boy, which way?
No noise. Oh, then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger. This is thy sheep. There rust, and let me die.
This is the place, there where the torch doth burn.
Ground is bloody. Search about the churchyard. Go tell the prince. Run to the Capulets. Raise up the Montagues.
Here's Romeo's man. We found him in the churchyard.
Hold him in safety till the prince come hither. And here's a friar that trembles, sighs, and weeps. We took this mattock and this spade from him, and as he was coming from the churchyard side. It's a great
suspicion.
Stay the friar too.
What misfortune is so early up that calls our person from our morning's rest?
But should it be that they shriek so abroad?
People in the street cry Romeo, some Juliet, and some Paris, and all run with open outcry toward our monument.
What fear is this which startles in our ears?
Sovereign, here lies the County Paris slain, and Romeo dead, and Juliet dead before, warm and new killed.
Search, seek, and know how this foul murder comes. Come, Montague, for thou art early up, to see thy son and heir more early down.
Alas! My liege, my wife is dead tonight. Grief of my son's exile has stopped her breath. What further woe conspires against mine age?
Look, and thou shalt see.
Oh, thou untaught, what manners is in this to press before thy father to a grave?
Seal up the mouth of outrage for a while, till we can clear these ambiguities and know their spring, their head, and their true descent. And then will I be general of your woes. Where be these enemies, Capulet? Montague, see what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love and eye. For winking at your discords too have lost a brace of kinsmen. All are punished.
Brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand.
But I can give thee more, for I will raise her statue in pure gold, that while Verona by that name is known, there shall be no figure at such a rate be set as that of true and faithful Juliet.
As rich shall Romeo's by his ladies lie, for sacrifices of our enmity.
A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned and some punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
Well done, everybody. Well done. How dare all of you, collectively, individually, respectively, and so on and so forth. Thank you all in the YouTube chat for watching this performance of a lesser known little gem of Shakespeare's called Romeo and Juliet. We are going to, if you're new here, we're going to go through a series of questions with our actors about the play that you just watched, but we're also going to be monitoring the YouTube chat for questions and comments. So if you have questions for any of the actors about character choices, about motivations, about themes in the play, that sort of thing, or you would like to respond to the questions that we're going to put to them here, you are welcome to put those questions in the YouTube chat right now. But I'm going to start with our actors. First question: what did you learn about this play that you didn't know before today?
I learned how integral the friar and the nurse are to the story. They pretty much drive all of the back, all of the drama that happens behind the scenes. I mean, the two of them make it all happen.
I completely agree. Before we go on to the next question, that was one of the things that that really struck me this time around. How integral those two characters are, and how they are really the ones coming up with ways, however well constructed or not, to try and solve the myriad problems that occur as the play moves on. Second question, unless anybody has anything else they want to add. Going once, going twice. Great. Second question, what word or words, images, or phrases popped out to you in a new way today?
I had never noticed how much manning up happens to Romeo until today. The amount of times he's told to like man up, suck it up, you're a man, why are you crying? And I was like, oh, I missed all of that before.
Mm. Yeah, it really serves to highlight, like, at the end of the day, these are children, right? These are big, huge circumstances and events that are occurring around these two children. The idea that Romeo has to be told so often, you stand and be a man, stand up, man up. Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
This kind of bridges us thinking ahead to question number 3, but hearing Romeo say, thou canst not speak of what thou doth not feel, really hit me hard, because I'm coming to terms in a lot of ways right now about the fact that, yeah, I want to speak about things, but I also realize that there's a limit to the true empathy that I'm working through, and knowing that there's a lot going on that someone in my position in the world can't speak to and shouldn't speak to right now, because someone else who is feeling and living and has been living that for so long needs to hold the microphone.
Also, relationship with love. We're talking. It's crossing over a little bit on both of those, but there's if love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. It just all of that sort of like this notion of taming, or that it's a painful that it's a painful thing, and there's going to be casualties if you fall in love. I just think that's like like such a big thread running through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love these griefs, these woes, these sorrows make me old. It's like one of my favorite lines in the whole play. That popped out today too.
From the YouTube chat, we have Dee Dee Rants, who says, I've seen this play many times before, parentheses, Baz Luhrmann movie, and this is the first time I've noticed the foreshadowing in Friar Lawrence's first lines. And then piggybacking off of that, Sherry Fahey says, somehow the way Tash read the friar's lines, I felt like I understood his motivation, that if the marriage occurs, the families will be united. For phrases or words, we have Laura Piccoli saying for doting, not loving pupil mine, making that distinction there. And then Sherry also comes back with the reasons the letter never got to Romeo were Friar John was stuck inside because of a pandemic. Hashtag relatable AF. And then, of course, Dee Dee rants again with someone had the line blind Boboy's butt shaft, LOL. And then with Christine Rockwood saying Juliet's description of waking up and playing with the bodies in the tomb in her madness, the pure horror stood out today. I'm going to piggyback off of that one because I think this was probably the first time in a long time I had heard the phrase where she references taking one of her ancestors' bones and using it as a club to dash her own brains out. That one really jumped to me, and I don't think I've ever really heard that line before. So, wild stuff. And then lastly, for our actors and then to YouTube, why does or doesn't this play matter to you right now?
It sort of speaks to the divisiveness of an age, even though they're different circumstances. I guess the play is saying if only people were a bit more able to empathize with somebody else, they might these things might not have happened.
I think a few of Shakespeare's plays are about communication, but it's so stark in this how much miscommunication happens and how that miscommunication leads to consequences that can't be changed or turned back. If Romeo and Juliet had been able to speak openly about their love, then they probably wouldn't have died. If the letter had made it to Romeo, there's so many sliding door moments in this play where people's choices really affect what happens to the two of them, and also the nurse's decision to not support Juliet in her love for Romeo. That breaks my heart every single time, because I'm like the only person who really understands her, who really looks after her, who's really there for her, is the nurse. And the nurse goes, do you know what, mate? Fuck it, just go with the other one.
Yeah. That's sort of that struck me today in reading it as sort of a, like, it's a tough, I'm obviously not one, but it struck me as like, this is the tough part of being a parent. It's like sometimes you have to tell your kids things that are ultimately good for them that they don't necessarily want to hear. And it doesn't, but just because you know it's good for them doesn't make it any easier to say it, because you know it's going to break their heart, especially coming from someone that they trust, the way that Juliet trusts the nurse. And then moving on to audience questions, Amber Elby puts a question to the cast. She would like to know, was it a bigger burden to do a well-known play like this compared to some of the more obscure ones?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I don't know. This was a strange one, I think, for lots of us, because we had a bit less rehearsal time than we normally do, and it's a big one, and it's and there's a lot of you put expectations on yourself, don't you? Because you know it a bit. You're like, oh yeah, I remember this bit from when Claire Danes did it, and it's a see, we have that sort of like, oh, this is an iconic role, more so than in some of the plays. I guess we have done, the Maccas and the Hamlet and everything like that, but yeah, this is particularly iconic.
For the sake of conflict-driving dialogue, I'll take no. It was far less of a burden. Sorry, Harry. Also, thanks for saying yes this morning to playing Juliet. For context, to the idea of less rehearsal time than normal, just meaning we didn't meet yesterday for 90 minutes, so there was no rehearsal, just a half an hour check-in. But in terms of the back end pre-prep burden of casting and cutting and thinking about the play, it was really nice to see a character list and know who the characters were readily, which I wish I could say it was the case for all the plays, but it certainly was not. So it was a joy to see Romeo and Juliet come around and be like, oh, thank goodness. And to know that we have, over the course of the last 3 months, we're able to hop online together at 4:30 and I'll take a first crack at this just now. Which I don't know if we could do that with every other play. So in some ways, less of a burden in that way.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Oh, sure.
Do you think it would have been different if we'd started from the other end?
I would have to say yeah. If we had gone the other way forward, I think this would have been wildly different without us getting familiar with this kind of format and establishing the language of this space. because you see by this point there's an established language in terms of intimacy, there's established language in terms of violence, there's established language in terms of angles and lighting and ways that people can appear to be on stage together when you don't live in the same house. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it would have been a much, much different thing if we had started here as opposed to where we did. But what do y'all think?
I think it would have been different. I think it would have been harder. The thing that I'm most inspired by in this entire journey is like the tremendous artistry of every single one of the people in this ensemble and the trust that has been built in the 3 months that we've been doing this, really, just about. So I feel like the trust and like, I'm gonna leap and somebody is gonna catch me. It's remarkable, and what a joy to have that and know when I look at every square, know that there's a human who's there and just like, go, we got you.
Yeah. A couple of more comments from YouTube. Dee Rants has a comment saying, talk about a miscommunication, am I right? Amber Elby says, Paris is honestly the better choice. What girl would turn down Ant-Man to marry the boy who didn't fit on the door in the freezing ocean? Cosign, 100%. Anne Kammerer says, can someone write a sequel where Romeo and Juliet get married and 2 years in, she realizes he's a tool? Fun fact, Anne, there is such a thing that does exist. It is a book called Romeo and or Juliet, a choose your own adventure book. And it's amazing. I highly recommend it if that's the kind of action you're looking for. And then Annetta Wilson, hi mom. Annetta Wilson would like to know, did you approach the roles differently because of the gender swap? So to the actors who were gender swapped in this, did you approach the role in a different way because of that choice?
No. No, I just felt I think I just felt that Harris just wanted to get married to this really beautiful young girl and really, really quickly, and just thought all of his ships had come in at once. So I just sort of was thinking about that, really. But I loved the fact that it was all so kind of different in terms of our expectations, in terms of ages as well. I just thought it meant that we would, I don't know, I just felt it was like made clearer storytelling in a way, because we had to kind of really invest. That's really vague, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
I think it's it doesn't necessarily change how you approach it, but I think for me, when I've played roles that were written to be women, I'm constantly coming up against kind of historical context of how women are viewed in that society, how women are treated. You know, if Juliet was a man in that time, I don't think there would be nearly so much expectation placed on who she marries, or expectation that she should marry her father's choosing, and the way that that goes down feels to me very gendered. So I don't necessarily think it changes how you approach it as an actor, but it does change kind of, you are constantly aware of that, I think.
Mm-hmm. What about you, CP?
Yeah, I would agree with Harry. Well said. And I think I'm just really grateful to have had that spirit pass through, and off it goes to whoever's going to take it on next. And there were a real, like Tash said, a number of moments where I was like, there's so much expectation about who this person is. You know, where I feel like the expectation I'm used to with Juliet, hearing it, I've never played Juliet, but just like experiencing and watching it, there's expectation about what she's going to be, but not who she's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And with Romeo, it felt like who you are has to be this thing and you have to be this now. So I was grateful to get to have that moment of like, oh, this is what that must feel like for people who are male identifying, you know, we all have struggles no matter what in that regard. So it was interesting to spin around there.
Yeah. And on that note, that is going to do it for the public facing portion of the show. But if you are a Patreon supporter at the well or top shelf level, you can join us afterward in the virtual company pub. If you're not a Patreon supporter by this point at the well or top shelf level, get your life and then come and get a drink and join us in the virtual company pub. But in any case, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your questions and comments. Thank you always for watching. We will see you here again on Wednesday with what are we doing on Wednesday? Someone remind me.
Labor's Lost.
Love's Labor's Lost. There it is. So we will see you Wednesday for William Shakespeare's L Cubed. In the meantime, have a great night, guys. We'll see you soon.